Even though it was a 3-hour movie, I keep getting urges to rewatch The Batman.
Man, I started watching it last night.
Are you serious?
Yeah. For real, I was
Oh,
like,
you're actually being serious.
yeah, I was like, oh, this is good. It was either that or it was clips of it, but it was like, I love this movie.
You didn't blink when you said that. I was like, oh, okay, he's going with this one. But you actually did.
I blinked?
You did not blink.
What does that mean?
It's like, oh, he's lying to me.
If I don't blink, I'm lying?
Yeah, it's like you didn't break eye contact. Like, oh, okay, he's like signaling right now.
Oh.
No, like I've seen it 3 times in full, twice in theaters, once at home.
I saw it for the first time with Kaylin, and then I saw it with you and Addison. And
maybe a couple other times.
After that.
So 3 times in full?
Maybe 4 times in full. 3 or 4 times.
It's just so fucking good.
It is. And I'm going to say this to a certain someone who I know is listening right now. Yes, sir, it is better than The Dark Knight.
Okay.
I said it.
Let's start with that then. Let's start with that. It's a little off topic, but I think it's an interesting conversation because, like, just clear the air. The Dark Knight is still fantastic. It's still
the best
a great
in the trilogy.
movie. It is the best in the Nolan trilogy. Yes, I agree to that. But I do think the style of Matt Reeves fits Batman so much more than Nolan's.
Yes.
Which is, I feel like it's very strange to say because Nolan kind of like revitalized the whole superhero industry or movie industry, or not revitalized, but he changed it. He changed the game.
And even outside of superhero movies, with James Bond and with Terminator, they made those movies more grounded and more realistic because of what Nolan did. And same thing with Iron Man. Okay, let's make it more realistic because Christopher Nolan and shit like that was successful.
And I think he really, really just kick-started Batman's like mid-2000s popularity with that trilogy. Batman's always been popular, but like with that trilogy, I think it just reached new heights. Like, and I think we're still there. We're still riding off of that huge. Batman's like DC's poster kid when they have Superman. Like, it's insane. And
that's a shame.
I think I genuinely think it's because of Nolan's trilogy. It's just everyone knows those movies. It would be like the Superman movies from the 70s, from the 80s. When were they?
70s, 80s.
70s, like those were the shit.
Yeah, still are.
Well,
the first 2.
So anyway, just they're good movies, but Matt Reeves, it's just he did it so well, so stylistically intact. Everything fit. Like that movie, and I can actually say the same about Joker from 2019. There's so many elements of that movie that, like, on their own are very. I'd be hesitant to say it would work, but together it just fits so well. And I specifically like that they made the custom lenses that they shot that movie with. They were like decalibrated, so the focus falls off around the edge of the frame. It's like that's a very, very specific style choice, but the way they built Gotham and the lighting and the set design and the colors of the movie, it all just worked.
Yeah.
And it's just, this is the Gotham I want to see.
Yes.
And this is the Batman that I'm really interested in following. Because like he was so like mysterious in this movie. And it's just, I hadn't seen it like that before. At least not on the big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I genuinely believe it is the stronger movie, probably the strongest Batman movie. Live action movie.
You know what? Live action movie. No, I think the strongest Batman movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen all the animated ones yet, so I guess I can't completely say, but out of, for sure, the live action.
I think the only one I haven't seen is Batman Ninja.
Oh, that one. I stopped watching that one. That was the first one where I was like, this is this doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care what's happening. Wow. I'm gonna stop.
Wow, you're not a true fan
of Batman Ninja. You were right.
You gosh darn right. But no, yeah, the Dark Knight was good. It was a really, really good film. But the Batman was just on another level. Like you said, like how everything was stylized. Like a lot of times, if I'm watching like bonus features or a Batman film, live action or animated, with the commentary on it, they're talking about like, oh, we wanted to build Gotham City like this because we wanted it to feel like it had its own character. I've never once in my life had I looked at Gotham City itself like as a character. I never really felt like that. Maybe a little bit in the Schumacher films because they had those skyscraper length statues in the statues in the city. That was kind of cool, but it still was never like, oh man, like Gotham and da 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 da. It was just like, what's up?
No, I was just gonna say the only time I've genuinely felt like Gotham is a character has been in Arkham City and Arkham Knight, the two Batman video games, or two of the Batman video games.
Wow, not even then for me.
To me, I was like, okay, this is cool. Okay. Like this is Gotham.
Interesting.
But no, I agree. Like in the movies, I've never really gotten that feeling.
Yeah, and like with the Nolan films, it's just like I get that he was trying to make it realistic, and that was cool. But it's like it just feels like New York or Chicago or something like that. With the Batman, when I first saw it, when I saw it for the first time, the way the like the architecture was and just the color of the city, and it was all like dark and gray and rainy and shit. I was like, wow, this is the first time I'm seeing Gotham City itself as a character. You know, it was just like I just never felt like that with the other Batman movies. And also this movie, I like that they did Bruce Wayne differently. It wasn't, oh, how is he gonna be the billionaire Playboy CEO? With this one, he was a recluse.
He was finally different.
Yeah, he was like interesting. You know, like hair was all messy, had the dark eyeshadow and like the baggy clothes. Like
super pale.
Super pale, man.
Yeah.
Like he looked weird and like creepy, but it was still cool. And like I like the technology of the suit. I don't necessarily think I like the suit how it looks, but I like how they did it, and I like what they were going for with it. You know. And, you know, yeah, it was just, it was better than The Dark Knight.
It was. And as of right now, November of 2022, apparently the sequel to The Batman has still not officially been greenlit. But everyone seems to be pretty hopeful about it. So
it's weird that it's not greenlit yet.
It's weird how it's not greenlit, but they have several spin-offs coming out still. So it's like I not that I don't care about the spin-offs, but I want the sequel more than the spin-offs. So please do your thing, Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
But so much speculation is going out about what the sequel could do. And it's very interesting to think about because this movie, it's so, the style and the kind of story and the kind of characters it's going for, it's like very comic booky, but also really grounded in a way. It's really bizarre. It's like the best of both worlds somehow, where like everything seems like everything feels like it's straight out of a Batman comic. But nothing feels like wacky or goofy.
Yeah.
So it's really, I don't, as it is right now, it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing any of the weird, like, mystical or supernatural elements that can be found in a lot of Batman or DC stories. I think they are going to keep it more grounded down to earth, but in its own way. So, like, that raises the question, what are they going to do in the sequel? Who's going to be the villain? Where are they going to take Batman next? Because he had that whole arc in the first movie about basically learning what it means. And this sounds really corny.
To be a hero.
Basically learning, let me say it like this. Basically learning what he needs to represent. That was his arc in the first one. So now, what is his arc going to be in the second one? Is he going to have an arc in the second one, or is it gonna focus on a new character, maybe a Robin character. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, what I think would be interesting for the sequel, since the city got flooded and it's like it's low key chaos and everything like that, but since Batman is more of a figure of hope in Gotham now, as opposed to a figure of fear and vengeance.
Exactly.
Like you can have it where like the people of Gotham, they're seeing that he's, and also like because the city was all fucked up, I'd have it where like there's different like kind of sections in it was like a comic book, I think it was like 0 Year or something like that, but like the Riddler had taken over this part of Gotham, the Penguin this part, the Joker this part, da da da. So yes. I would do something like that, and it's Batman almost by himself, and it's like he's exhausting all of his resources to fight all of these groups and fight essentially just different parts of the city, and it's just on his own. And maybe obviously you would have Catwoman come back, and then
right,
she can help him out. And I would want to. I wouldn't be mad at introducing a Robin, but it would, just because this universe feels so different, I would maybe do it differently. I think I would maybe start it. I would have it where like he's in like one section of the city, and maybe it's like some thugs about to like beat up a little kid or something like that. And like he saves the little kid, and then he kind of, as the movie goes on, like the kid keeps kind of like popping up there, and it's like like he's like, go home kid or whatever the fuck, but he's like like I'm homeless. Like he's a homeless kid, and like he has like a good heart because he's always trying to like defend people, but he's always, getting into like trouble and the fights and shit. So, but it would basically be, this is Jason Todd, and I'd have Jason Todd be the first Robin, and he helps him like fight the city and da. And then like the end credit scene for that is maybe like Joker gets out, and then he's the villain for part 3.
Okay. So how much of the movie would the kid be in? Would he be like a central figure?
Nah, he would be this whole movie would just be introducing him. So I guess, no, I would change it. So he's not going to be Robin in this movie, but he's going to be kind of like on that road. And then in the third one, once you can kind of get out of the whole, like the city is all split up, like you get a little bit more back into the more kind of, I guess, normal Batman stuff. Mm-hmm. In that movie, he would be Robin, because also this is like a year or two later, so it's like it's not like you just have this little kid like fighting with you. He's like at least 16 or something.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I've been a little hesitant in wanting a Robin in this new Batman trilogy. While I think it's probably the way to go, because there hasn't been a live action Robin in like 20 years, I think more, or
I think
in a while.
Yeah.
So more than 20 years, I think. It's 2022, and the last one was in the 90s.
Unless you count Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character in Dark Knight Rises.
Good thing I don't. So I do think that would be the most original and probably interesting way to take it. But I just find it weird because in my head, I'm picturing this Robert Pattinson version of Bruce Wayne, and it's this really young, really edgelord, but not like in a cringe way.
In a cool way.
Yeah. And of course this will be after he's changed for the by the end of the first movie. So maybe the sequel he will be different, and he will be like a little bit more fitting to take on a younger apprentice like this. But as of right now, I just don't see it, like this Bruce Wayne taking on a kid, basically.
What I would do with it is, in those times where they keep coming across each other, he sees that the kid is always trying to like pick fights with thugs, but like they're older than him, they're bigger than him, and like so it's like,
right,
but he's doing this because like Batman saved me, now I'm obsessed with Batman. So Bruce is like, you don't listen to me when I tell you to like go back home or to like go a different path. So, and you're clearly not going to give this up. So I'm gonna at least train you to defend yourself, so that you don't get you don't get killed out there.
Right.
It's like, I can't stop you from doing it. At least let me teach you to do it well. And then like that, and then like because like they're doing that and they keep like bumping into each other, and it's like, okay, I will take you on like as a Robin, but it would just be like later on down the line.
Do you think it would be lame if there's a big time skip between the first and second movie.
Yeah. How big a time jump are we talking?
Like 5 years.
I would keep it like I would do 5 years at the very most. But if it's like 30 years later, you're like, oh nah, dude.
I personally hope they do it like. I hope they don't do a time skip, but if they do, I hope they keep it like really, really short because it's really interesting seeing like the beginnings of Batman while he's still figuring everything out. Because like, yes, it's cool to see Batman in his prime where like he can go up against anything.
Yeah.
But
so they kind of keep doing that already.
That's the thing. Like, as someone who kind of more or less consumes a lot of Batman stories, there's a lot of them out there. He's always like that, or at least in the stories that I like or read, whatever, consume. He's always like that. So I'd find it interesting if they just kind of really keep it in this same time frame, more or less. Like maybe the first trilogy is like his new coming trilogy, assuming they do more, which they probably won't.
I need a trilogy. I need a trilogy from.
I need a trilogy from Matt Reeves, but it would be really cool to see multiple trilogies from him with this Batman. I don't believe that'll ever happen.
No.
With the way DC is right now. However, did you say who your villain would be in this Batman sequel? And just the first sequel?
In the first sequel, it would just be like the Penguin, obviously, but just whoever is like the leader of like each of these different sections in Gotham.
Okay. Okay.
But also, I would want it to be grounded. Like like a lot of people are saying like, oh, Mr. Freeze for the Batman 2, and like,
it's like, how the hell would they do that though?
Yeah, I can't imagine Mr. Freeze in a Matt Reeves-esque way. If he did it, it would be cool for sure. But it's like I don't know how you could make it fit within this universe.
That's why it's kind of challenging. Like, it's very comic booky, but very grounded.
Yeah. So, or shit, maybe even different villains. Maybe you could have it. It's like one is the Kingpin. One section of the city is the Kingpin. The other one is maybe
Kingpin.
I mean, Penguin. Excuse me. One is the Penguin. One is maybe Victor Zsasz, that serial killer that he like cuts himself, or even if he's not, like he could just be working for someone, and they can make him more like the comics. I wasn't really a fan of how they did him in the Harley Quinn movie.
Oh, I never finished that one.
Yeah, I finished it.
You mean Birds of Prey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't finish that. It was interesting.
Yeah, and then I don't know, who else is a grounded
That's the thing. Cause like all the ones I think of are like kind of bombastic or are done to death.
Yeah, like
I really want
Bane would be cool. I like Bane as a character.
And I think they can do Bane, but that's the thing. Like it with that adrenaline / Venom shot.
I thought that was Venom. I was
it
like,
wouldn't surprise me if it ends up being Venom and like it's a backdoor reference to or set up to Bane. But that comes to the thing, like, you're gonna do Bane again. Oh, you're setting up Joker again. Like, no, stop. Find something else. There's so many villains. Or make something new, I guess, which, I don't know about that. Maybe just find someone, like, obscure or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because they have done Batman, like, to death.
There's
only so many characters they can keep doing. Because one thing I was even thinking, like, oh, they could do... What if they did Ra's al Ghul, but he was just a real life guy? He wasn't on that Lazarus Pit stuff, but you know they did that. They did that in the Dark. There was a whole Dark Knight trilogy, basically.
Right. That's right.
So it's kind of like
they could do the Court of Owls.
They could, but because the Court of Owls is this whole underground conspiracy that no one in Gotham knows about, they kind of did that in the first one. Because it was like revealing the city's secrets because nobody knew that the Court of Owls existed. So it's like, are we going to reveal more of the city's secrets? I thought everything got kind of aired out in the first one. So like, it would be cool, especially in a Matt Reeves movie for sure.
But also, I don't know if it would even have the same impact if you put it in the second movie.
Yeah.
'Cause
You could pull like a, in the third one, like the third one you have the Court of Owls revealed, and then it's like, oh, we were behind everything from the first and the second one. But would that be kind of corny though? Would be kind of like, oh, really, guys? Like, it would just be like Spectre from the James Bond movies.
Right.
Like, oh, you guys are behind everything, even though
it was so lame.
Yeah, and it's like, because they're like, well, we were behind like everything, but like the villain from the third one didn't have shit to do with anything else. I'm like, yeah, like maybe because it's you could say he was just working for them, but this was just like a personal mission or whatever. But it's still like they're behind everything. Like, why? This is like a multi-billion-dollar thing, and like just to fuck with your stepbrother. Okay, maybe this could be interesting. Like in the second one, you could have it where Batman, he's trying to be a figure of hope and everything, and unite the people of Gotham against all the different criminal factions and shit. But you have all those factions, but the main villain is actually like Scarecrow, and he's like spreading fear throughout the city. So then it's like fear versus hope. That could be something interesting.
That could be something, but it runs into the same problem though.
It does, but I'm like, I don't know what else to do.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
I feel like Tyrese, man. What more do you want from me?
Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange, like, I don't know. I can't see him as like a unless it's like if he's like have to go inside to make sure, the Joker is escaped from his cell, but he couldn't have left Arkham, so now I have to go inside and find the Joker. And it's like, oh wow, he's with all those villains, and then it's like, okay, I'm working with Hugo Strange to get through, and then like, oh twist, Hugo Strange was the villain the whole time, and it's like, fuck, it's just Batman stuck alone in Arkham Asylum, and it's all these Batman villains, and they're all being led by Hugo Strange.
What would you think about Deathstroke?
Ooh, Deathstroke could be cool. Deathstroke is such a cool character, because he would be in my Suicide Squad Part 2.
Oh, really?
But he would have he would be introduced in someone else's movie, but then that end credit scene leads to him being brought into the Suicide Squad. And then even after that, he would have like maybe like a sequel or two, and he would also just have his own arc throughout all of these appearances.
Okay. So I guess moving on from that, because it's really hard to find a villain who hasn't been done. Or maybe that's not something the focus should be. Maybe it's like not has it been done, it's like has it been done this way?
/ well.
Sure. So I think, the Riddler is a really good example of that.
I loved what they did with Riddler.
Exactly. But, Jim Carrey's performance was like the Riddler for years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe it's like what. So maybe they could do Bane in the sequel, but like the Venom is much more like an addictive drug that is just like a berserker thing, more so than like this supernatural become the Hulk serum. So that could be interesting. Like Batman's trying to, like you said, be this symbol of hope, but here you have this like basically insurmountable force that's going against him, and, like
just fucking
breaking him down. And there's this little boy that's picking fights. It's like, God damn. That could be cool. That could be cool.
I mean, no, yeah.
And then for me, the third one would fulfill the Joker Riddler promise set up at the end of the first movie, where it's like they're this basically brains and like chaos duo. Yeah, just fucking Gotham up like years after Batman had stopped worrying about them or something.
He's like, who the fuck are they again? Because it's been so long you forgot about him. Like, I forgot. I didn't know that I fought the Zodiac. It's not the Zodiac, it's the Riddler. Oh, you're right. Okay, because it's just the footage and the vibes, man. Who's the clown guy? Who's the Joker's? He was one of your first victims. Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, what if the reason the Joker's all scarred is because he was like one of Batman's first victims, and like before Batman was like holding back at all, he was just like, "Fuck you, random guy."
Yeah, like he was robbing a convenience store or something like that. Like not even robbing it. Like he just stole a candy bar. Like, fuck, I'm hungry. I don't have money for a candy bar.
I've had a really bad day. I don't want to pay for this.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Just one of those really unfortunate situations. Hungry on Friday, but don't get paid till Thursday kind of things, man.
It's legit Robert Pattinson's first night out, and he doesn't know how hard he should go, and he's really scared, so he just goes as hard as he can on this dude.
And then, when he was talking to Joker, and then he's like, they let him you know what, yeah, you can come out from your cell and come out the corner. He's like, yeah, in a fucking wheelchair.
Jesus Christ.
You did this to me. But yeah, no, that end credit scene with Joker, it was cool because it was at first it was like, oh, are you guys doing Joker again? But I get it because he's such a popular character, and also on the other hand, it's I would want to see how he would do how Matt Reeves would do the Joker. So that could be interesting. And then that deleted scene was really cool. I really like that he was all just fucked up and shit like that. I'm I gotta see this.
I did not fuck with that Joker end credits scene until I saw that deleted scene with the actual conversation. And it's okay, this is actually pretty interesting. I'm game.
Yeah.
But
and it's cool,
I do hope they hold off a little bit longer.
And in that deleted scene, it was cool to see how intelligent the Joker was. Because he was oh, this is what he's all about. I'm golly, bro.
Yeah. So, and I guess that goes back to what we had said, it's not who hasn't been done, it's who hasn't been done in this way.
Yeah, how you gonna do it?
Yeah. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something?
No.
Okay.
I said, how are you going to do him? And I was like, oh, why'd I say it like that? But yeah.
Okay. Who would you cast as Bane?
That's a tough with Bane. No, because this is generally I would say I would get a really big, massive bodybuilder type guy, and then have Javier Bardem do the voice. Yeah. But you wouldn't see his face though.
Because this universe is so fucking weird, and we saw, Robert Pattinson, he didn't bulk up for this movie, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing or anything, but he was slender.
You wouldn't need to get a 7-foot Power Man type guy to play. You could get just someone that's more average, but still kind of bulked up.
Well, I was gonna say we saw how the Venom, or supposedly Venom, affected Robert Pattinson. He turned the table instantly. So I think it would be really cool if this Bane is maybe he is a really tall dude, but he's lanky, doesn't seem like he could fight, but he has so much venom running through him. He is super strong, unnaturally so. He legit doesn't look strong at all. He has almost no muscles. He's just a big walking skeleton.
Oh, but he's just long.
But he's in this he has all these needles coming out of him, and all the rubber tubes with venom wrapped around his arms or some shit.
His veins are all dark because all the
venoms
that's all
and you can see his veins not because muscles are pushing it up, just because he doesn't really have anything on his arms or bones. It's just skin and veins.
He doesn't eat because he's just so addicted to it.
Yeah, and but he is just power. That could be really cool.
Spoiler alert! I was when you said he's just a tall guy. I was low key picturing the demon from Smile. At the end, I just that coming from you. Oh, that's terrifying.
I think that could also play off the idea this is an addictive drug. This is what a drug addict would look like if the drug is venom.
Wow.
I think that could be really cool.
So who do you get for that guy?
That's the thing. I'm not sure. When I pictured tall and lanky, I was picturing
Chris Bosh.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's a basketball player.
I was picturing the dude who played Pennywise.
Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård.
What? No, yeah. Okay, no, that's it. Okay, I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't have him bulk up at all, but have him maybe, I don't know if he'd be pale or what. And
you would have to make him pale. If you're gonna go like that, he gotta just look sickly.
Yeah, I think that could be really fucking interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's my idea for the Batman sequel. That was your idea for the Batman sequel.
I thought you were gonna say, "What's yours, Nick?"
No.
I just want to take this time to thank you all for listening to the podcast tonight. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us everywhere you can find podcasts these days. Because we out here. Thank y'all.
Bye.